It's good afternoon, Sinead Stubbins. Thanks for joining us at Yellow Shelf.
Hello, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Congratulations. Stinkbug is available right now on pre-order and it's out really soon. Sinead, tell us all about your newest uh, book launch.
Yes, so this is my first novel. It's a corporate gothic novel, is what I'm calling it. Yep.
I love,
Uh,
oh my God, I love that. Yeah.
so it's about an advertising agency called Winked going to a workplace wellness retreat, sort of with the aim to like boost motivation, boost team building, and also prove your dedication to your work family, really. So it's in the midst of a company restructure, so tensions are already very high. And yeah, it sort of delves into team building madness. So it's kind of like 9 to 5 meets The Shining, is how I've been describing it to people. So it's kind of inspired by that sort of wellness and well-being rhetoric that's sort of found its way into the corporate space, sort of in the last decade, and how there sometimes can be a lot of hypocrisy in that. Companies who will give you a pink cupcake on International Women's Day, let's say, but then not offer proper sick leave or fire women on maternity leave, that sort of thing. So it's sort of a satirical look at yeah, what happens when your work family becomes your actual family and how a lot of companies can take advantage of that.
Yeah, look, and I'm going to laugh because, I've lived in that world. I was just sharing with you. I've been in those roles in HR where, wellness retreats or there can feel a sense of forcedness to that. And that's why I was so chuffed about this corporate gothic novel description because I've been there. I can relate to that. I don't know if any of my listeners will be able to understand that, why I'm laughing. But Sinead, tell us about, you sort of skimmed over. You have previously launched a book, and that book came out, back in 2021. It was called My
Yeah.
Defense. I have
In
no
my
defense.
Yeah, in my defense, I have no defense. Yeah, that was yeah, it's kind of weird. I always get the dates jumbled up now because it's like, oh yes, the lockdown years. It was just came out in that blob of time. But yeah, that was a series of essays about imperfection and growing up and trying to find your place in the world. So there's lots of similar, even though Stinkbug is a novel, it's fiction, there are a lot of similar themes throughout. And I always seem to come back to friendship and the friendships that women forge at work, at school, just out and about, and how that sort of shapes our identities. So there's a lot of themes between the two, but yeah, it's funny. I'm much more nervous this time, even though
Oh.
it's not my first book. I think I never really thought I'd be able to write a novel. I was always interested in writing fiction, but sometimes thought the stories I wanted to tell were a bit too frivolous or a bit too silly to, find a home. So I'm so chuffed that a firm press took a chance on me and let me do a novel after doing nonfiction. So yeah, second book, but feels very much like the first.
Yeah, and it's a different experience, like you were sharing. It's a different, you're going to going on this different journey of yeah, how the book's received and how you feel about it. Tell us, I'd love to know a bit about you. Tell us a bit about your background and the decisions to become an author. I'd love you to share any inspirations there.
Yeah, so I've always been interested in writing, even since I was a kid. I sort of thought everybody liked to write stories, and was like quite baffling to me when I got to school and realized that that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So, I was one of those kids who, watched Almost Famous, the movie Almost Famous at a very formative time and decided I needed to be a music critic. So that's what guided for
So
many years.
cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
I just, and then you sort of realize that that movie is set in the 70s where you could live on writing one story a year.
Yeah.
And sadly, when I got to uni, realized that was not the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, journalism was what sort of occupied me. I started working when I was 18, basically trying to get published on blogs. The first thing I ever got published ended up on The Age. It was a review of a Tarantino film, and sort of that set me
Wow.
on my course. And I think because I was pursuing journalism and, working for newspapers, working for websites, nonfiction just came more easily to me. It sort of made sense that writing, because I was working in that sort of stage of the internet where you had to like write 8 stories a day and you had to, always be
Yeah,
producing.
churning out. Yeah.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
content mines we call them. Um, the idea of writing a book and actually being able to sit with a piece and, not have to moderate comments on it on social media felt like a luxury. So, um, and to be honest, I always thought, you tell yourself these stories, especially when you're younger, and if you tell yourself them enough time, they just suddenly start to be true. So I think I always told myself, oh, you write about the creativity of others. You're not creative yourself. Like you write about albums and films, and you could never create something unique like that. So I think I psyched myself out from writing
Mm.
fiction for a really long time. And it wasn't until we were in lockdown and my mind started wandering and I started writing short stories. I was lucky enough that they got published. It sort of clicked to me like, oh, okay, you can actually do this. And I just kept going. And so my brain has just been fiction ever since. So yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
What an inspiring story. And yeah, such a great leap of faith to kind of manifest your own success through a journey. That's fabulous, Sinead.
Oh, thank you.
So, Sinead, the book, like I said, comes out towards the end of May. It is available for pre-order. I'll put in the show notes here some links on where to go to your publisher and to relevant book book sites. Tell us, how do we connect with you if we're curious to connect with Sinead? I know you've got a website. Do you want us to go to Instagram? Tell us where we go, and I'll put that in the notes for everyone.
Oh, well, I'd love you to come join me on Instagram and see photos of my dog, Sandwich. That's mostly, but
It's
also
very
I'll be
cute.
sharing my, thank you. I'll be sharing my writing process a lot in the next couple of weeks because I love to see other writers' writing process and what they were thinking of when they were creating. So, yes, please come and tell me what you think about the book, what if you've read it. And yeah, I can't wait to connect with people on this one.
Awesome. Well, there you go. There's your call out. I'm going to be really cheeky and ask because I know you're about to enjoy this process of launching the novel and, go on that journey, which is lots of fun. Any more books down the track? Like, are we
Well, I've actually started working on another novel, just sort of, it's my own little secret thing at the moment, but it's kind of even crazier than the one I've just written, which has been described by my editors as deeply unhinged. So I don't know if the next one's more unhinged. I'm not sure if I should warn people about it or, but yeah, it's my own little
well,
secret
look,
project at the moment.
yep. Enough said. I guess I do the cheeky ask because if there is more work, I would love you to come back and share with Yellow Shelf when the time's right.
Absolutely, would love to be back on.
Yeah, Sinead, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the book launch and the book success. Thank you.
Thank you so much.